In the ancient world of the epics, your destiny was written the moment you were born. Your caste, your gender, and your family dictated exactly how you would live and what you were allowed to learn. That was the reality for a young girl named Shramana. She was born into the Nishada, or Bil, community, a tribe whose ancestral lifestyle in the forests of central India was built almost entirely around hunting. Following the strict traditions of her people, her life path was mapped out from day one, leading straight to an arranged marriage while she was still in her youth. The expectation was simple: accept your place in the hierarchy, marry who you are told, and maintain the status quo. But Shramana was about to push back against everything her society demanded. The night before her wedding, she walked out into the family courtyard. Instead of festive decorations, she found hundreds of goats, sheep, and wild animals penned tightly together. When she asked why they were there, her father proudly explained that they were to be slaughtered at dawn. They were the main course for a massive meat feast to celebrate her marriage. The thought of hundreds of innocent creatures losing their lives solely to celebrate her wedding filled her with absolute horror. Empathy overpowered tradition. So while the entire village slept, she made a radical choice. She walked away from her arranged marriage, her family, and her security, slipping quietly into the dark wilderness. Rejecting the violent norms of her tribe was her first major act of defiance. Now she was completely alone in the forest, searching for a higher moral purpose. For days, Shramana wandered through the deep woods. She wanted to understand Dharma and desperately sought a guru who would teach her divine wisdom, known as Brahma Jnana. But the elite mystics of the forest repeatedly turned her away. Because she came from a low-caste hunter lineage, these yogis deemed her untouchable. They believed she was spiritually unqualified to read or learn the sacred scriptures, shutting her out of their ashrams entirely. Her wandering eventually brought her to the foothills near Lake Pampa, an area where the highly revered sage Matanga lived with his disciples. Terrified of facing another painful rejection, she decided to serve the sage in complete secrecy. Every night, while the ashram slept, she crept onto the paths leading to the lake, meticulously sweeping away sharp pebbles and thorns with her bare hands so the hermits wouldn't hurt their feet during morning prayers. She spent her nights chopping firewood and leaving it outside their huts. She didn't ask for permission or a public platform. By serving the community invisibly, she completely bypassed the gatekeepers who told her she didn't belong. Eventually, the ascetics grew suspicious of their perfectly clean paths and mysterious firewood. They set up a nighttime sting operation, and when they caught a low-born hunter woman lingering in their sacred spaces, the disciples were furious. They dragged her before Sage Matanga, fully expecting him to curse or banish her. Instead, the sage looked into her eyes and saw a completely unblemished heart. He turned to his outraged disciples and declared that her selfless service was the highest possible form of yoga. Right then and there, he openly embraced her as his formal disciple, giving her the name she is universally known by today, Shabari. She served him with fierce loyalty for the rest of his life. When Sage Matanga grew old and prepared to pass away, he gave her a final prophecy. Lord Ram would one day come to this exact forest searching for his wife, and she needed to stay and wait for him. By accepting her, Matanga validated her defiance. He proved that true spiritual merit is measured by love and humility, entirely stripping away the barriers of birthright that society tried to impose on her. Shabari took her guru's words as absolute truth. She stayed at the ashram as decades passed, slowly aging from a vibrant young woman into a frail, white-haired elder. She treated every single sunrise as the day he might arrive. Even as walking became difficult, she took her stick and broom out every morning, clearing away any sharp stones from the dirt path so Ram's feet wouldn't be hurt. She would draw fresh water to fill her jars and decorate her humble mud hut with freshly picked forest flowers, never once complaining about the delay. She even developed a highly specific ritual for his food. She gathered wild berries from the forest and bit into every single one. If it was sweet, she kept it in her basket. If it was bitter, she threw it away. She did not wait with passive anxiety. She poured her trust into deliberate, daily action, proving that genuine faith operates entirely independent of a timeline. Finally, the warrior princes arrived. While desperately searching the forest for his wife, Sita, Lord Ram and his brother Lakshman walked right up to her ashram. Overjoyed that her lifetime of waiting was over, Shabari welcomed her divine guests and eagerly offered them her basket of pre-tasted wild berries. According to the strict religious rules of the era, offering food that had already been bitten into, known as jutha, was considered deeply impure and highly taboo. But Ram saw right past the superficial rules. He joyfully accepted and ate the bitten berries, telling Lakshman that no royal feast could ever compare to an offering made with such pure, unconditional love. From rejecting the violence of her tribe, to bypassing the caste barriers of the elite mystics, to completely ignoring the strict rituals of purity, her entire life was a quiet rebellion. Shabari's journey shows that ultimate spiritual truth is found in deep empathy, selfless service, and a remarkably pure heart.